Coming up on Fox 4 News at 6.
Severe weather threatens the metro, and Sedalia, Missouri takes a direct hit from a tornado.
The back end of this storm system still affecting us tonight, and a little chill in the air for your Thursday.
The owner of this truck was picked up by a tornado in Lewisburg. His story coming up.
From the station that's working for you, you're watching Fox 4 News at 6.
It swept through the city suddenly. Severe thunderstorms and occasional tornadoes. This was the view from atop the Knoll Aloft Hotel in Leawood as the wall cloud passed over the city. The major portion of the storm landed in Sedalia, Missouri. Home video shows it, taken from the parking lot of a Sutherland's hardware store as the tornado approached. That's all first on Fox this evening. Welcome, I'm Phil Witt. The first warnings appeared just before 11 o'clock in the morning, and by 1 o'clock there were tornado reports in Lewisburg, South Overland Park, Harrisonville, Kearney, and Sedalia. And Sedalia experienced the worst of the storm, a tornado carving a path through the southern part of the city. Fox 4's John Pepitone is back with a look at the damage there. John, fill us in.
That's right, Phil. You know, the storm swept through Sedalia and Pettis County just after noon, and nearly everyone is crediting early warning. Sirens were sounded countywide, and that helped ensure no lives were lost. The tornado tore through at least 3 neighborhoods in Sedalia. There were plenty of downed power lines, uprooted trees, and ripped off roofs on the southeast side. Homeowner Albert Carrico says he heard the storm coming and huddled with his wife in a basement shower to ride it out.
We started hearing a freight train sound and ran to the basement, looked out the window, and saw the wall cloud coming down. And about that time, wind started picking up, and we looked out the window and saw a tree fly through here and went down through here.
At least one person suffered injuries in the storm, and ambulances were called to a nearby trailer court and golf course where there may be 2 more injured people. The good news, no reports of deaths, and firefighters walked the neighborhoods to make sure everyone is accounted for. They say the biggest danger may be downed power lines that may still be live.
Well, just south of where we're standing right now is the local bus barn, and it looks as if several of the buses sustained damage to the windows and such like that. So they're looking for an alternate way to get the kids out of the schools right now.
People in Sedalia recognize the storm caused some damage, but say they feel lucky. Nearly everything here can be repaired, and many say this pales in comparison to the devastation they've seen from the much more powerful tornado that struck Joplin. Now, cleanup efforts have already begun, and firefighters tell me that they're likely to continue checking on folks in damaged neighborhoods throughout the night. John Pepitone, Fox 4 News, working for you.
Thanks for the information, John. Sedalia has been hit by tornadoes several times. In May 1977, a tornado left 1,500 Sedalia residents homeless. 5 people got hurt then. In 1980, a tornado damaged an industrial park there, causing $24 million in damage. And 5 years ago, 1 person died when a tornado damaged a mobile home park in Sedalia. With images of Joplin, Missouri fresh in their minds, from the center of Kansas City to the south, people braced for the worst today. Fox 4's Monica Evans joins us live at I-435 in Metcalf, where the storms hovered along the state line. Monica?
Well, Phil, there were some very tense moments around the metro today, and I'm sure a lot of people were glued to their television sets. Now, while this area escaped the worst, that wasn't the case south of here in Lewisburg, Kansas. When the tornado hit Lewisburg around 10:45 Wednesday morning, we're told it came down unexpectedly. In fact, the police chief says they didn't have time to sound the tornado sirens.
It felt like I was in a sardine can just being crushed. I mean, I didn't hear wind. It was just so fast.
The tornado literally shook Dan Goff up. Goff says he was driving in his F-150 truck when the tornado picked up his 4,000-pound truck and slammed it to the ground.
I didn't even have time to really be scared till after the fact, where I'm laying sideways going, the windshield's busted, I can't see anything. I didn't know if other cars were going to start running into my truck. So the only thing I could think to do was to reach up and open my passenger side door.
Luckily for Goff, he only suffered some minor scratches. A Kansas state trooper says he witnessed the whole thing, but there wasn't much he could do.
I was on my radio trying to call my dispatch, and I was like stuttering because I couldn't even describe it because I was trying to get it out of my mouth that there was a tornado.
looking at it again, I feel that much luckier.
The police chief says aside from Goff's truck, the tornado didn't cause severe damage, although there were several downed trees that toppled on some homes. Now, Goff says he's feeling pretty lucky today, so much so he plans to buy a Powerball ticket for tonight. Monica Evans, Fox 4 News, working for you live in Overland Park.
Good luck, Mr. Goff. People all over the metro suddenly had to scatter for shelter as tornado warnings blared. Fox 4 was shooting another report in Kansas City, Kansas, when this emergency management center had to move to the basement. The staff stayed and continued to do its work until the National Weather Service tornado warning ended. Much the same thing at Kauffman Stadium. Some kids were at the stadium when they suddenly had to remember their tornado drill training and go to an interior room on the lowest level of the structure. We streamed that video over the internet and showed it to you live on Fox 4 News at noon.
And the good news is, Phil, that's all wound down. We still have some rain in the area, but no threat of severe weather, so you can breathe easy this evening. The only issue is outdoor plans. If you have some soccer games, things like that, you may have to dodge some showers. Of course, things are pretty wet after this afternoon's downpours. And as you can see right now, we still have some rain crossing the metro area, and it'll likely continue to crop up as this is part of a larger circulation crossing the area. So it's pulling in cool air and moist air, and so you'll see little bands continuing to develop on and off throughout the evening hours. But the threat of severe weather long gone. It's over towards St. Louis, heading into Illinois. We're at 61 degrees right now, with some 50s up to the north, and we'll fall into the 50s, low 50s tonight as winds shift around to the north. Rain chances dwindle very rapidly in the morning, only 66 for a daytime high. Normal is now approaching 80. We'll meet and surpass that, though, in the updated Long Ranger, Phil.
Mike, thank you. Meantime, in Joplin, they're wary of more storms as the cleanup continues from Sunday's tornado. 125 people are now confirmed to have died in that storm. 900 people are injured. Fox 4's Abby Eden is there reporting from Joplin this evening.
Much of Joplin is still a mess. You can look at the remains of this house here. You see that there are still valuables, sewing kits, pieces of wood, ironing boards, still just kind of everywhere in the city. But the cleanup effort is finally getting started today. You can hear bulldozers, chainsaws throughout the entire city, just standing in one place. You can hear the cleanup efforts beginning. There are even piles in neighborhoods that were destroyed, so you can see that piles are forming, the cleanup is starting, and that is an encouraging sight here. If you look out right behind me, you can also see kind of what a lot of Joplin is looking like. You see the bare trees, you see a lack of roof lines. Normally you would look out this area here and you would see roof lines like any other neighborhood. Not the case here. All of these homes, all of these businesses in this area were destroyed, and that's why organizations like the American Red Cross are so vital to people here in Joplin. Tess Koppelman was out at the shelter today. She has a little bit more about what that organization is doing to help people get back on their feet.
Here at the Red Cross shelter in Joplin, the number of people needing shelter has swelled. From the first night, not even 100 people now. As of last night, they were up to 348. They say that's partially because people are getting released from the hospital and finding out they need somewhere to go. The Red Cross is keeping a safe and well list as well as its missing persons list. So they're hoping people in the tornado impacted area are checking those lists and making sure they're accounted for. Craig Thomas and his family say it took some time to reconnect with their loved ones, but everyone should know they're safe and sound now. They've been here at the Red Cross shelter since the storm hit Sunday.
They were screaming because the tornado, they could see it right out of the window, you know, trees and everything flying.
They huddled together in a closet and managed to survive the storm, but it wasn't the way Mom had planned on spending her birthday.
And as far as Joy is concerned, her birthday present is our lives, you know what I mean?
The Red Cross says if you live in the tornado area and you're able to, check the missing persons list, see if you're listed on it. If you are, get yourself put here on the safe and well list. Tess Koppelman, Fox 4 News, working for you in Joplin.
And that was Fox 4's Tess Koppelman reporting. Take a look at this house, or what's left of it, I should say again. A family rode out the storm in this house. Miraculously, you wouldn't believe it. Look at this rubble. You can't even tell a house was here. Miraculously, this family survived. If you look down the street just a few blocks, same situation. There's a nursing home down there. Unfortunately, 11 people died in that nursing home. But more than 80 people survived, and it looks much the same. I got a chance to go out there today, look at the rubble, and talk to some employees who are devastated by the loss, but also say some kind of miracle must have happened to allow so many people to make it through a mess like this. At any given time, about 100 people would be at Greenbrier Nursing Home. Where was the kitchen? Where were people living?
This was the front parking lot, and you would walk up this right up here, and that was the main entrance.
Some of it is gone, some of it here in piles. Other pieces haven't moved.
But nothing touched it.
Like nothing touched it.
What has left the greatest void? 11 lives lost here. One an employee, the other 10 were residents. They spent their final moments in hallways here.
A lot of them got out, but there's just no words to say about it.
Employees say this was a close-knit group.
These residents were my family. These employees were my family. It just saddens my heart.
In this pile of rubble, it's hard to believe anything survived, but employees here say many Bibles survived, and right across the street, a cross is 100% intact. Employees here say that's no coincidence.
We pulled out so many Bibles, it's unreal. I mean, honestly, I didn't even believe in a higher power, but after all this and after everybody that survived, I think there has to be.
Religious relics, whether or not it's coincidence they survived, are definitely a sense of comfort for people who went through this tornado. Like you saw in the nursing home, Bibles being found, crosses still 100% intact down there. People are really finding solace in this, and you can tell the little things that people can find that bring them some kind of peace. Obviously, looking out against this wasteland now, you can tell that that is really important to people there as well. Of course, we have many more updates. Lots of people coming from Kansas City here to Joplin to help out friends, families, strangers, and many other people from around the country. We'll, of course, bring you updates from those people and some of the other things found through this storm coming up tonight on Fox 4 News at 9 and 10. Abby Eden, Fox 4 News, working for you in Joplin, Missouri.
Tornadoes hit a little closer to home today, but the threat winds down as a chill settles in to finish the week. You're watching Fox 4 News at 6.